and welcome. We are now going to take a look at solving inequalities in one variable. These are problems that involve less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, but not strictly equations. The good news is we solve them like we solve equations, using the 5-step method, and that entails being able to do step 1 is distribute, step 2 is collect like terms on either side, step 3 is get all your variables on the one side. Step 4 is undo, add, subtract. Step 5 is undo, multiply, or divide. And we see it's got this little asterisk here that we'll address that in a moment. And step 6 is graph. When we solve an equation, we really don't graph it when it's just an equation in one variable. And let's see what that asterisk was about here. If we note down here in the footnote, it says, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you need to flip the symbol. And again, that would only happen in this step 5 because it's where we're asked to multiply or divide. Okay, so we respect things like the golden rule. If we do things on one side, we do them on the other, and we try and respect this order as best we can. Now, we've seen in class that another way that we've tried to write this little organizer is just with some abbreviations. And those abbreviations are D, C, G, 0 and 1 with a star, and then you're going to make a graph. Okay, so D for distribute, C for collect, G for get, 0 for undo, add, and subtract because you're making the number 0 when you undo, add, and subtract. 1 for undo, multiplies, and divides because you are making a 1 when you undo a multiply or divide. And again, if we multiply or divide by a negative, we are in fact going to flip the symbol being this inequality symbol. So it's something that does not happen all the time, but we always need to look out for it. Okay, so I'll try and go in order here, and I'll try and color coordinate this as best as I can. In this problem here, where it says 5 times the quantity m plus 3 plus 3m is less than 10m minus 9, I notice that I'm going to need to distribute. Now I'm going to need to distribute in this part of the problem right here. So I'm going to get 5m plus 15, and then I'm going to bring down the rest of the problem, which I do nothing to, just to keep my writing organized. And that is D is check. Now I'm going to look to collect like terms on either side. And I notice on the left side I need to do that because my 5m can be combined with my 3m. If you note here, it cannot be combined with the 10m because it's on the other side of the inequality. But I can combine the 5m and 3m because they're on the same side. So that will give me 8m, just using the signs there. They're both positive, so it's addition. And then I'll bring down the rest of the problem that I have not done anything to. Okay? And now I'm going to look to get all my letters on one side. And don't forget, get is kind of in quotes when we talk about it, because get is not a math operation, but it looks like what we do when we do this get step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of a pile of m's, because I see that I have m's, the variable, on both sides of the inequality. So I'm going to get rid of this 10m by subtracting 10m. And I will do that on both sides to adhere to the golden rule. And then I will, in fact, write the result of that, which I will get negative 2m, bring down the 15, bring down the less than. That is a 0. And then I get negative 9 brought down. So that actually is my get step. Now I'm going to undo my adds and subtracts, which is this 0 step, and you'll see why in a second. Because when I have this plus 15 and I do minus 15 on both sides, it makes a 0, 15 minus 15. So I bring down the result, which is negative 2m is less than negative 24. And now here I'm going to undo my multiplies and divides. And I notice that I'm multiplying by negative 2 to the variable m. So I'm going to undo that with dividing by negative 2. And I see that, in fact, this asterisk comes into play because I divided by a negative. So when I write the result for that, I'm going to write m, and then I'm going to flip the symbol from less than to greater than, and then I'm going to do negative 24 over negative 2 is 12. Again, because I divided by a negative on both sides, I need to flip the symbol. It's just a rule. We've done some exploration before to see why it's true. Now you just need to apply the fact that it is true. Okay, so now all we need to be able to do is make a graph of numbers bigger than 12. That is our answer. Our answer is, in fact, m is bigger than 12. So all I need to do is go to the right of 0 and mark it 12. Make an open dot, because I'm not going to include the 12 in this statement, and then extend the ray to the right, which means all the numbers larger than 12. So there's a combination for the answer here. It's the graph and the statement together that explains the graph. What we're saying is any number larger than 12, when plugged in for m in the original statement, will in fact make the entire statement true. And that means that the left side will be less than the right side. So feel free to go over this. I tried to do an example that involved all 6 steps and even that little extra part of step 5. When you get these problems, you might not be asked to do all 6 steps, but you should run through this routine in your head in order. It's a recipe that solves the majority of the problems that you will encounter. So feel free to watch a couple times, practice it for yourself, and as always, enjoy.